Hello YouTubers, my name is X Factor and welcome back to some Rainbow Six Siege gameplay. If you're looking for my first impressions, I'll link that down below. And I happened to run into Levelcap after a server crashed. I was booted out, quickly rejoined, and one round had already taken place. So we're down a round. It is 0-1. And you can see me get my bag of vests down. And whenever you're defending, the name of the game is kill the little Roombas, because the last thing you want them to do is discover your hostage and know exactly what room to siege, but it's pretty easy. If you hear a calamity of massive building and a bunch of people running around a specific spot, more than likely, that's where the hostage is. People just start throwing barricades up immediately. So I get my bag down, I grab my vest, that's why you can see my health in the lower left has a green vest next to him. I'm going to absorb just a little bit more chest damage, basically, and headshots are still going to just rip you apart. There's a massive headshot multiplier in this game. That's good, because that's somewhat skill-based, right? So, going to try to do a little bit of flanking here, and I am marked. I still don't know if that means I have a red silhouette around me, or there's a little chevron above my head that they can see through walls, but based on the way that guy aggressively peeked me as I finish him off, more than likely, they know where I'm at pretty much all the time. So we're down 2v2, and there's 2 minutes left. That's a lot of time, and depending on how they use their abilities, we could be in trouble as I finish off by walling, aka wall banging that guy. It's easy to figure out where a player is going potentially, and I talked about this before. There's really not a lot of reason to go burst and to tap fire. Just hold mouse button 1 because there's very, very, very little spread on these weapons. As I finish off the last couple of guys right there, and that death ragdoll is pretty epic. So here we are on the attacking side, and it's all about us finding the hostage. You're going to see that I have no view. That's because they have all of their jammers down. One of the classes gets 4 different jammers that he can place, and it really messes it up. But the good news is somebody spotted the hostage, as you can see it through the house. So this is kind of a cheese peek I like to do right here. And it also messes up my Wally, which is the drone that I get with the class that I most often select. And here you can see me kind of peeking this lane. I could kind of drop down to cover my reload. And of course, I got to worry about the room to my right, somebody peeking me. But a lot of people tend to just kind of watch by the hostage and not spread out. One of the best tactics you can have as a defender is have 1 or 2 guys roaming. Being the spots people don't expect, especially if the hostage got spotted. That means they're going to have to be very careful and use their Wally appropriately. The bot that you notice is in my mouse slot next to the compass, basically. And here we're going to enter from this one eventually. And if you are close, as I just messed up there, you can simply hit the button, space, to enter, and it'll adjust for you. Drop you down, it'll bring you up just a little bit so there is slap. And you can't shoot while you're doing that, you can aim. So this is going to get me in trouble. We're actually making call-outs because we can tell this guy's in the blue closet. It's like, hey, wall bang this blue closet. Shoot the shit out of this thing because this guy is in there. And again, there are hit markers in this game, so once you start spraying and connecting, you're definitely going to be able to tell. So we pretty much know the rest of the building is secure. Levelcap goes vaulting over, and I finally see him, and it's too late. Shotgun just wrecked me from that range. More than likely a couple shots in there. You can see the 12, 17, and 12 damage as he's getting his spammerino on. But it worked, and it was effective. So we're going to switch over views here in a second because this battle is still raging, and that's kind of the cool spot. You can be in these bot views, you can be in the player views, and you can even see the jammers are still messing with the bots, and that's something you have to be careful about. If you see something that looks like a wireless router on the ground, by all means, shoot that thing, because more than likely, if you're assaulting, somebody's going to be using the Wally for the assaulting class, and they can zap people with it. It's hilarious. So I actually won 3 rounds by using the Wally, getting the last kill. It's 15 damage per shot. There is no headshot multiplier. It makes a snap, crackle, pop type sound, and obviously it confuses the person. You can get them right underneath them, so they're actually sitting on it, which is, you know, bad news. Now, he almost got gassed there. Levelcap really picked up the slack where a lot of us fell short, basically. Rushed forward because he knew that was going to do a lot of damage and cleaned up the last kill. It's important not to shoot the hostage. If you shoot the hostage while attacking, it's GG. There's nothing you could do. Or defending, I believe. There's actually a round where I won the round, but I killed both the guy picking up the hostage, then of course the hostage himself. So this is kind of funny here. Levelcap says he's in the map. But check this out. He's in the wall. He's out of the wall. He's in the wall. Bye-bye, Levelcap.
Yeah. Oh, I fell.
And as you can tell, the VoIP is really, really bad in this game, but at least it has it. Again, one of the qualms I had about this game is there is no push to talk. I did do that first impressions video. It will be linked down below. We will reference a couple things as we go. But forget barricading stuff. That was worth its weight in gold just watching that happen, because that's the first time I've seen that happen. It was pretty funny. So there goes a little bot, your entry bots. It's important to shoot them. And you can kind of hear them running around. And they do sort of glitch out sometimes with visual glitches and, of course, audio glitches. I'm going to be throwing that down. And I forgot. Usually I get out my armor plates and say, hey, guys, here's the armor plates as soon as we spawn in, basically. Because that's probably one of the first things your team's going to want to do. So that was kind of a mess up on my part. I'm going to have the plate. Maybe another teammate will get it, but that's about it. Because who's going to really want to come down there when the round's already started? So a thing with these barricades, they're not just to stop people. Like this wooden barricade, you can melee it 2 or 3 times. You can shoot through it very easily. It's an audio cue. If you hear that crumble, the directional sound's okay in this game. It's not great. If you hear that crumble, you have an idea of where they are at. And just like before, we're going to try to get our flank on and give a look from an angle that they're not used to seeing. And again, just because you down them doesn't mean they're dead. You got to make sure you either kill them with a headshot and they're not in that juggernaut type stance where they're waiting to be revived and they can stop their bleeding. Keep shooting them until their bodies are limp, like a sack of potatoes hitting the ground. So we've got a 4v4 going on here. I'm roaming, being very careful. If you crouch, you don't make a lot of noise. And I'm trying to figure out if you could spray and pray and if you could strafe while being accurate with the P90, because it doesn't seem there's penalty in this game for holding mouse button 1 with basically any weapon. And it'd be interesting to see what they do with that. I really believe there should be a lot of recoil added to this game, not just this random optic sway type thing when you start shooting. Then, of course, a reason for you to burst fire and a reason for you to control your spray, basically, and not just hammer a wall or shoot into 3 guys at once and not let off of mouse button 1. So here we go. We've got a 3v1 right now, and those little wires right there are a nightmare for the bad guys. They simply cannot go through it. It's like being stuck in quicksand. So going to do a little bit different peek. I didn't do my cheese window here because we were already up. We do know where the hostage is at. And this is going to be some kind of craziness at the end here. We can enter that, but they can see underneath. Now, what's the stuff in the walls? Those are reinforced walls internally. Small arms fire will not go through those at all. I believe one class can take these walls down. And that guy just naded himself. Now I'm being chased. Look at this. Look at this. Through the walls. Now he's going to continue to chase me through the walls, pistoling me through the walls. Not sure what happened there. If there was a bot on me, as in a drone of some sort in the room still. The guy had an idea where I was at, but I definitely got chased out. Now, I'm going to wall back because what was over there? A shield. A droppable shield. And usually people sit at that. I'm going to continue to fire. That whole wall can be shot through, basically, and you can expose it. Along with the internal walls, if they do not reinforce them. And they did the one thing you probably should not do is stacked this room full of bad guys. That's probably the worst thing you could do is put 4 guys in here. And just like that, round over. Came in late, won 4 in a row, call it a day, 11-1. But watching Levelcap fall through the world was hilarious. And actually, his reaction was pretty funny as well. If you guys want to see me go more in-depth with this series, let me know. Probably highlight some of the class abilities, some of the do's and don'ts with those classes. And the last thing is the timeline is sweet. It shows you who you kill and when, of course, your teammate's death and the deaths on the opposing team. And, of course, it matches those guys up as well. As always, YouTubers, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And we will see you guys soon.
Yeah.